Welcome to the Sanity Project podcast, where you can awaken your mind to clarity and success even in today's life challenges. We're here to provide insights and solutions that will help you live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. Here's your host, Joanne Victoria.
Hello, everyone. This is Joanne Victoria with another amazing episode of the Sanity Project podcast. You are here to discover a life of clarity, confidence, sanity, and entrepreneurial success. Our guest today is Renee Garcia. Renee Garcia is a lifelong entrepreneur, certified reality transurfing instructor, and she'll tell you about that, and an alternatives space adventurer. Having ventured deeply into the metaphysical world of reality creation, Renee has transformed personal failure into success, poverty into abundance, and sickness into healing. Renee has employed reality transurfing to discover fulfillment, true purpose in her life, and connect with the highest version of herself. With a self-built practical methodology and magical wand in hand, she is now empowering others, such as you, my dear listeners, around the world to do the same. Renee Garcia's motto is, quote, knowledge without application is merely entertainment. And that is so true. Welcome to the show, Renee Garcia.
Oh, thank you for having me, Joanne. I'm really happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this.
Well, I've been looking forward to this as well because I participate somewhat in your Facebook group. I just deleted myself from several Facebook groups because that keeps me from participating where it's really important to me. But I did not leave your Facebook group. And it's really important that people know how to create solutions for living a better reality from a different perspective and how they can bring it into their own lives the way they are living now. And I hope that that's what you're here to help people do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have been on quite a journey since, my entire life. I've had an amazing life and many ups and downs, and a lifelong entrepreneur, as my bio suggests. And, things were not always easy for me. And I had a lot of flaws in my programming and my thinking and how I perceived the world and my external environment. And since finding reality transurfing and really developing a very strong connection with the idea that what it is I'm experiencing moment to moment is absolutely my choice, that I'm not a victim to anything or anyone, and that I am creating my experience of reality via my thought quality and what it is I choose to give attention to and focus on. And reality transurfing offers us a number of ways to help us in rehabilitating our perspective toward the higher and better one. But it's been a life-altering experience for me to find this knowledge and apply it for the last 5-6 years. And it just continues to keep giving to me, and my reality just gets better and better and better. And I'm feeling so much alignment and continuing to spread this knowledge. So I'm definitely hoping that your audience can take something away from this podcast today.
Well, I know that they will, even if it's not so much on the surface, literally surface, right? Transurfing, but they will hear something that they need to hear. It's going to work for them. It may be tomorrow, it may be a month from now, but then they'll go, aha, now I know, now I understand what she meant. So, and not to minimize transurfing, but how would you define it or explain it or transfer the feeling of transurfing, the essence of it, to someone who has no idea of what it is?
Yeah, so transurfing, the term trans, which means multiple, and then surfing, which obviously surfing, and then reality, right? Transurfing reality. It's surfing the multiple variations of reality. So it's quantum-based psychology, if you want to call it that, the self-development system that is, for anyone that's familiar with like cognitive behavioral therapy, it's kind of like a mystical cognitive behavioral therapy. It's what it's really about is with a simple formula, finding, accessing, and extracting from higher variations of reality that are available to you. So I'm sure some of you may have heard the term quantum jumping. This is practical quantum jumping. This is you accessing different variations of reality that are available to you right now with your thought quality and your action and your attention and these concepts to help you have a better experience of reality and get more of what it is that you want. It's awesome for entrepreneurs. It's awesome for people that are finding themselves in a place like I was when I found Reality Transurfing, sort of that moment in your life. A lot of us experience it midlife, this moment where you have an opportunity to sort of press the reset button and choose something different for yourself. It's great if you are asking yourself today, you know, is this it? Is this what life is about, right? Is this what life is about? Is this all there is? Why am I continuing to experience things that are unpleasant to me or I don't like? Or why do things never seem to work out to my benefit or in the way that I want them to? Maybe your health is challenged right now. Maybe you're going through a divorce. Maybe you lost a child or a loved one. You know, all sorts of life events that kind of lead us to this place where we start asking ourselves questions. Reality Transurfing, sort of sliding into that space and adopting some new ways of thinking to truly propel yourself into the next frame of reality. This is the term to us transurfers that we hold dearly, that every moment of reality that we're experiencing is like a frame on a film roll. And we can sort of move the film roll along towards that ending that we really, really want to see happen. This could be a goal or an intention or a desire or something that you want, and kind of taking back control of life and your experience of it. And yeah, it's groundbreaking work. It's absolutely life-changing. You can go into it a little bit and see results, or you can jump in just all the way and really transform your layer of reality and everything in between.
Well, when you said, is that all there is? When I was younger, that would be my query. It's from the song by Peggy Lee. People listening are probably going, who's Peggy Lee? And, but she was a great singer in the same time that Frank Sinatra was around. And no, I'm not that old, but I just absorb data. And so Peggy Lee had a great voice, great breathing, and she had this one very sad song, Is That All There Is, My Friend? Is That All There Is? Which is talking about her life at that time. And I'm sure there's a recording of it on YouTube somewhere. And that would be my bottom line when things would happen in my life. And I say would happen because there were many times I had very little control. And I just reacted to things as they occurred because that's how I was I don't know if I was raised that way, or I think that was just what I was exposed to up to that point in my life. That this is, it was a response that was acceptable, whatever that was. And there is more. I say that there is always more to learn, more to feel, more to, to hang out in the quantum area is more enlightening than to hang out in your own thoughts, especially since your own thoughts are limiting. And what I hear, and what I'm hearing from you is, this reality transurfing would help you remove the limitation of your thinking, remove limited thinking.
Yes, it absolutely removes limited thinking and helps you to see with absolute lucidity how your thoughts are holding you back. And this sort of precipice that is in between, the experiencer and that version of reality that is, desired to be experienced, this precipice, this threshold is this breakthrough of acknowledging that your experience of reality takes you right up to that wall of your thoughts, of your thinking, that I like to describe it as your box of limiting beliefs, that we're confined in this box that is ultimately comprised of our belief system. This is our belief system, our beliefs. So with reality transurfing, you can expand the walls of your box, therefore incorporating more and higher and better things. But it's your thinking that is going to take you there. And it is transurfing that will pull you out of yourself and into what we call the alternative space in reality transurfing. And in this space, you have access to so much more. And it's kind of mind-blowing when you get into it. I'm a lifer at this point. I know that I will practice this philosophy for the rest of my life simply because each year that I've been involved, things just get better and better and higher and more interesting. And I am on these wild adventures, and my bank account's better, and my friends are better, and my romantic partner is everything that I could have ever wanted. And it's sort of all just exponentially increasing, and I'm a believer in it. But again, I know that why I didn't have what it is that I have right now in the past, looking back retrospectively, is exactly because of what we're speaking of. My thoughts were the thing that was holding me back. I had to push beyond that threshold and enter into this space where I could choose anything that I want. And with reality transurfing, I can take that voice now and actually have that thing. And it's a miracle. It is an absolute miracle.
Well, I hope that this, if not all, some of the people who are listening are understanding the depth of what you're speaking to and about. We're essentially saying that many of us, not you, but you, the listener, have limited thinking. You have limited beliefs. This is nothing new. You've heard this before as a concept. So you believe as far as you don't get hurt, or you believe as far as you do get hurt and you expect to get hurt. Just a lot of ways of looking at life. If you are a deep thinker, you're probably more likely to understand what Renee Garcia is saying. If you're not a deep thinker, if you just get ticked off real easily and or ignore people because they don't fit into your, let's just say, circle, and just have a limiting life, this might not be of interest to you, but it might be of interest to someone that you know. I think you have to be open to new things. This is a tool. This is a tool, people. This is a tool for a process that could take you to a place where you are more in charge of your life. Did I oversimplify, Renee?
No. I mean, the interesting thing about reality transurfing is it's a big book. It's the knowledge, the body of knowledge is vast. Not to be intimidated if anybody goes and buys this book on Amazon or wherever you can find it, and you get it and you think, holy smokes, why is this so big? It is 11 core concepts that are sort of reiterated over and over in different ways from different angles, so you can comprehensively understand exactly where to apply this knowledge and how in every aspect of your life. But what it really boils down to, like the essence, the core essence of reality transurfing, is that everything we are experiencing as an individual, my layer of reality, Joanne, your layer of reality, the listeners, your individual layer of reality, everything that you are experiencing right now is a product of your past thoughts and actions, and nothing more. That's all it is. And most people aren't successful in life because they're attempting to change their life in the moment. And in the moment, it's impossible to change because, again, what you're experiencing is simply a product of something that you've already done. It's something that's already happened. So understanding that and really embracing this idea that if you want something different for yourself, if you truly want something different for yourself, then you're going to have to think differently, you're going to have to act differently, and you're going to have to resonate at a different frequency, starting in this moment, so those later frames can be that experience of reality that you want. And it's very, very easy, So when you say, am I oversimplifying it? That's what my calling is. That's why I'm here. This is what I perceive to be my purpose to be on this planet right now, is to take this knowledge and to really simplify it to the extent that anyone can adopt this worldview. Anyone can take these concepts and apply them and see results. But it is absolutely about bringing it down to that core essence, which is it's about choice. It's about choice. And if you're not happy today, what choices have you made that have brought you to this moment? And what different choices could you start making right now to affect those later frames of reality? So yeah. I love simplifying. That's my jam.
Well, we're talking about accountability. We're talking about many, many, many things, but I'm bringing in accountability and responsibility. Accountability, we have made choices based on whatever the universe has thrown at us and whatever we learned from our family, our birth family. Let's just call it that. Mom, dad, uncles, aunts, grandparents, cousins, etc. All of them. They have their own perspectives. And then if we didn't know any better, and if God did not bless us with an open mind at a young age, we absorbed what they threw at us. We listen and believe. We believe things that are, well, nothing is real, but we believe things that, like a TV program, and you get mad at the character for being who they are when a third party had written about it. So it's kind of like our minds are distracted where it's not beneficial to us. So we make choices based on all of that data and yet then we're not happy. So we have to accept responsibility for making that choice. However, we could make a leap of faith. I call it faith, making a leap of faith by acknowledging that there is another way. There's probably more than one other way, but the other way we're talking about now is reality transurfing with Renee Garcia, and I see it as a huge opportunity for anybody who's listening or even thinking about sharing their thoughts with somebody else about what Renee is talking about. It's a huge opportunity to just expand.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not talking about outer space, although I do believe in aliens because I do. I've had proof presented to me on that subject. I don't spend too much time. This is about the only time I've ever mentioned it publicly. But I believe in a lot of things, but I believe that anything is possible.
And yeah, I mean, this is the core of the transurfing teachings, is that once you do believe that anything is possible, then the variations that are available to you, you open up to them. Then it actually is possible for you to have a different experience of reality.
Well, I'm going to just share an example of what I think is changing the reality. I'm capable of holding time. And what that means, some of you may know what it's all about or not, but just put yourself in a position where you have an appointment and it's going to take you 20 minutes to get 20 minutes to get there, but you need to be there in 10 minutes. You can stretch time in your mind to allow you to get there in time and on time. And I know Renee understands what I'm talking about. I've oversimplified the, example, but you can make anything that you want compressed or expanded today. Anybody can do that right now. What Renee is giving you is a different way of making it better for you on all levels. You can tell I'm excited about this.
I'm excited too. I mean, I'm 6 years in, and I have to say, I look forward to podcasts so much because my boyfriend gets so tired of me talking his ear off transurfing all the time. I mean, I live this. I live it, breathe it. I mean, it is my absolute passion. But talking about like just your example that you gave on time, this is an amazing example because time is for most humans a static. Like it is a static energy, right? It's something that we believe to be a concrete way, and it's us buying into it as an individual and collectively. It's made it what it is, right?
We buy into the fact that somebody says there are 24 hours in a day, which is not the truth. So there are not 24 hours in a day. There are more than 24 hours in a day. But in order to survive in the world that has been created around us, that we are accomplices to, we accept certain things.
We adhere to structures believing that they will benefit us. And oftentimes there absolutely is benefit.
Sure.
Reality transurfing is sort of I wouldn't say it's based in non-duality, but it's definitely a system that there's always advantage and there's always positive to extract from anything. So even with time, we have collectively and as individuals bought into this, human construct, if you want to call it that. So we can benefit. But the cool thing is you can also benefit from not buying into it. And this is, in my opinion, where the magic really is with reality transurfing. And I'll give you a personal example of something that I just experienced, and it's very surreal to me, and you'll understand why when I explain to you my position. So I'm a real estate agent in my hometown. Not in it too seriously because I have my other businesses that I have a little more passion with. And but I'm hip to the market, right? I understand the market. And a few years ago, a little less than 5 years ago, I bought my first home. I decided to move back to my hometown from Los Angeles, where I lived for 15 plus years, because cheap prices, family was here, and I found the cutest little house that was absolutely perfect for me. So I bought it. Now, fast forward 4+ years later, even though I'm in the real estate market, and even though in the real estate business, and even though I hear of all of this, all of this ruckus about the housing market going nuts, I don't for one second even consider that I have a ton of equity in my house. It doesn't even cross my mind. And I don't know why this exactly was the case, really, because I wasn't paying attention to the value of my house. I just viewed it as my home and loved my home for what purpose it was serving my house rather than some kind of financial instrument. Mm-hmm. But we had this anomalous action challenge. It's this challenge that we run a few times a year in the community, in the Reality Transurfing community. And it's where for every single day of a calendar month, you take an action that is outside of your comfort zone. So about 5 weeks ago, a month ago, I decided that I'm going to look at the value of my home. And just for fun, I'm going to list my home on the market and see what happens. And sure enough, the value of my home almost doubled, and I didn't even know it. I put it on the market, and I got an above asking offer from the first person that walked in that day. And I accepted the offer.
Oh dear. Now what do you do?
This is where Reality Transurfing has just completely propelled me into a whole other sector of reality that I didn't even consider. So now my pockets are full, right? I have made an awesome score on the sale of my home, which I didn't even really consider selling. But now that the whole thing is happening, I realize how much my hometown really just has not been for me since I've moved back. It's been an interesting experience, but it's definitely not my forever home. It's not for me. So I'm off, and we are going to another state, a state that I've driven through once, fell in love with, and my partner's never been to. We rented a house, a beautiful house, just by seeing the pictures. We have all sorts of adventures planned for this new place that we're going to call home. And suddenly I'm completely 100% debt free. I have a ton of money from the sale of my house. And before I sort of took the step in that direction, and this is how I'm going to tie it into what you were talking about with the time. Before I took a step in this direction, I didn't even fathom that this was an opportunity for me, because that's not how my mind was functioning within the construct that I had created for myself. So just as much as time is a construct that we adhere to that serves us sometimes, a lot of times it doesn't. And it's the same with finances. It's the same with your reality as it is currently set up. You are running on a program. You wake up, you do your things, you go to work, you pay your mortgage, you tend to the different responsibilities in your life. And as human beings, our focus is very, very narrowed. And we believe that what we're doing is sort of the option that is available to us only at that given moment in space and time. And it's not. And this is a revolutionary way of living your life once you can kind of grasp what it is that I am talking about, that you obtain the ability now to break out of the self-imposed matrix that you have created for yourself. And the cool thing is, once these concepts are utilized, you can experience, as I'm experiencing now, that your world will be there to support you in something much bigger and much better and much higher. And you can accomplish amazing things in a much easier fashion because you're not having to do all the heavy lifting. And that heavy lifting is sort of reinforced by this construct that we've created, this matrix, this box of limiting beliefs. And once you can start to expand the walls of that out, even just a little bit, it makes room for something that you didn't even know you had access to. And it's awesome. It's one of those things that has to be experienced. And then once you experience it, then you can do it a little bit bigger, and then even a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And it's kind of like it snowballs, right? So at this point, I'm the spokesperson for Reality Transurfing because I continue to thrive. My endeavors, my professional endeavors continue to gain momentum like crazy. I'm financially better off than I ever have been. I have more freedom than I've ever had. I'm in better relationships. My relationships just keep getting healthier and more nourishing and more beautiful. And it all is just evolving exponentially, yet I'm trying less and less and less. And I'm letting my world do all of that heavy lifting for me. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So
those of you who are listening, I think you have to get in touch with Renee Garcia. And you can buy, there's nothing else to say except you must get in touch with her. How can they do that, Renee?
Well, you can access me and my teachings and the community in a number of different ways. We have Reality Transurfing TV on YouTube, where we have, I think, almost 700 videos now, which is another miracle. And you can dive right into this knowledge for free starting today and start transforming your layer of reality via my videos that I've created. We have an awesome community on Facebook, the International Transurfing Institute Facebook group community. We have courses on Teachable, Reality 2.0, and Tufty, Live Stroll Through a Movie 2.0. This is on Teachable. I'll provide you with those links, Joanne. And Instagram, reality_transurfing. We're on Patreon. We're on everything. I mean, I think we're close to tapping out the internet. We're on everything. So
they've got social media covered. I would strongly suggest that whoever is listening right now, first go to transurfing.us. That's transurfing.us, and you will find directions to everything else that Renee Garcia has just discussed with us. And I want to thank her for being here today and opening the eyes of myself as well as our listeners to another way of thinking. It certainly sounds easier and better and different, but yet not different. It depends on where you're at right now in your life. So thank you, Renee. It's been wonderful. And I will, we're going to say goodbye to our audience. For those of you who want a copy of my True Self Handbook, A Guide to Transform Your Life, go to askjoannevictoria.com/podcasts, and you can sign up and get your own free copy right now. Have a great day, everyone. Take care, Renee.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Joanne.
Oh, it's been wonderful. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sanity Project podcast. Please go to AskJoanneVictoria.com to listen to more podcasts. Check out Joanne's coaching programs and get a free copy of her report, 5 Steps to Achieve Life-Work Harmony. That's AskJoanneVictoria.com. Take care, and thanks for being here.